2, 1, Tetris! And the players are underway. As it has been for the past couple rounds, it's best of 5, so first to 3 will win and advance further into the lower top 12. But as always, it is always a shame to lose players, especially of this high caliber, as we're now getting to the stage where these are really top-level aspects. I mean, everyone who's qualified is a top level, but there's the top of the top level as well, and we have some of the players, and there's some who have gotten so far in previous years, but lower bracket is never easy. I went down there fairly early in this tournament, and it's never easy because there's extra pressure, because if you lose another match, you are eliminated, but it's also great to have those second chances as well, and these players have so far taken those very well. Bit further information about our players. Up on the top row, we got Jan and Tim. Jan qualified in at seed number 35. Actually did a bit of a seed upset, defeating Bergtroll 3-0 in a sweep to advance here. Jan has been in the lower bracket for a little while. In fact, has been here since round 3, where he came in and defeated Yelena. Then in round 4, defeated Obelix. And again, Bergtroll now, so has been really having a great run. Had a great run as well last year too, and is sort of coming leaps and bounds since then, is just improving so much. A lot of these players have come in and improved so much over the past year or so between this tournament. But Jan will be hoping to repeat history here once again and get another seed upset here against Tim. But Tim, one of our players who got a max out in qualifier, seed number 13, defeated Porridge 3-1 to get here. And has a PV of 1.173 million. In fact, just going back to Jan, Jan is the only player here out of the 4 who doesn't have at least a 1.1, which I guess just goes to show his consistency over the course of this event. And then moving down to the bottom row, we have Gold, PP of 1.24 million. Another player who qualified very well, got seed number 9 with 2 max outs. Has played 1 match so far in the lower bracket, defeated Weisbrot in the previous round 3-1. We'll be hoping now to do the same against Jesper here. And Jesper, of course, veteran of this competition, PB of 1.25 million points, had a fantastic run last year, but now finds himself in the lower bracket. Relatively early for his standards, has been here since the top 24, defeated Giant 3-0 in the previous round, qualified seed number 5, so is the highest seeded player remaining who's currently in the lower bracket. We'll be hoping for some good matches against Gold, but we should be able to see some good matches between all 4 of these players, and currently it's fairly close, top and bottom. In fact, it's neck and neck at the moment between Gold and Jesper, exactly on 277,000 points. Jan is on 279, Tim 265. And we're now at that stage where these players shouldn't really have problems getting to level 19 and getting far into level 19 here. But we shall see here. Classic Tetris always has a way of springing up some surprises when you may not necessarily want them, but some of those surprises can be good and some can be not as good. But so far, these players all with relatively clean stacks, relatively good paces as well. Everyone in the 50s and 60s when it comes to their Tetris rates. Ooh, early shift there of that Z piece for Jan, but it's not going to be too detrimental to the stack. Will create some problems potentially later on, but nice with that J piece there for Jan. Will help clean that up very nicely. Just needs to try and get that well back open. We'll do so with that skim and a Tetris there for Jan. Tetris for Jesper as well on the bottom. And it looks like we got a raid from CT3, who's been doing a lot of all the other lower bracket stuff as well over the past day or two. Thank you so much Everyone who's tuned in there, hello. We are continuing the lower bracket action on here on Classic Tetris 2. And you've tuned in just in time as we've only just begun with Jan and Tim, as well as Gold and Jesper in the top 16. And we got a $30 contribution to the Matcherino from Abby. Thank you so much. That puts us up to $25.92 in terms of the overall prize pool. Thank you to everyone who has contributed so far. Your contributions go towards the players and help to make sure that the best players in this tournament can go home with some nice prize money as well, because 3 days of playing Tetris is a lot on the players, and they deserve to have some good prizes to go home with. And it looks like we're now starting to get into level 19 here. Tim with a 524, Gold 545, Jesper 483, Jan 540. So everyone now into the level 19 speeds. Speed has increased by about 50%, and as well as that, the amount of points that you get per Tetris has also increased. It's currently 24,000 points for a Tetris right now, but that will continue to increase by an extra 1,200 going into each new level. The speed will stay the same up until the level 29 kill screen, where it becomes pretty difficult to play. Oh, Gold with, didn't get that J piece all the way over and is going to top out at 557. So Jesper in a chase time will need 558. A Tetris and change should be able to do it. Gets the well back open. And Jesper now just waiting, takes a double, gets a Tetris. Now just 5,000 points away. A triple should be enough, or at least very close enough. Yes, now will definitely be enough here, but I think Jesper just singling this out. Not risking anything, just 80 points now, and that will do it. Jesper will take game number 1 here in this bottom match. And of course, we also have plenty of other action going on our upper bracket as well on Classic Tetris 1. You can watch that at the same time, but don't miss out on the action here. The lower bracket especially has been just as competitive and just as high quality as the upper bracket. Oh, Tim with a couple misdrops here does get the bar over for a Tetris, but that top of the board and the center is fairly compromised, but is still able to get pieces around. Jan on 688, Tim 666. 666 Tim on 666. How about that? Tim gets that bar over to the left. Nice skim with the T-piece. As we're ready and getting going with game number 2 on the bottom between Gold and Jesper. Jesper taking that first one. Jan with some nice burning here. Both players at similar stack height, but in terms of lines, Tim is just about ahead, but it is still very close between the two players. Jan on 701, Tim 679. And Tim doing a great job of surviving here. That's that burn with the long bar there. Nice volt of that J piece. But doesn't get that bar all the way over to the right-hand side. So Tim in trouble trying to burn how he can, but can't do it. Tops out 688. So Jan will take game number 1 here on the top. And a bright start for our seed number 35. So they'll be getting going for game number 2 here shortly. Up on the top, Mimo down at the bottom. Game 2 well underway. And both players with relatively bright starts, although Gold now currently leading by just under a Tetris. And game 2 underway between Jan and Tim. While these players have shown that they don't really have too many issues with level 18, it is a very deceptive level. It isn't as fast, of course, as level 19, but if you're making mistakes up high, then it can be pretty difficult to sort of get out of those, especially if you early shift, for example, or lose your DAS charge. It can be just as easy to top out early. Nice double there for Tim. Does get a Tetris. But most of the stacks here looking pretty nice and clean. Nice simul Tetris there for Gold and Jesper. And again, another massive shout out to the Experion in Cologne, who have allowed us to be able to host this event here. It's a fantastic venue to not just, of course, watch Tetris, but other e-sport events as well. And also you can play games with your friends. It's completely free to enter the Experion. You don't need to book anything. You can just come and enjoy. We also have, of course, free spectator as well. So if you're in the area and want to come down and watch some Tetris, you can do so. There is no charge and no fee for spectating as well. So if you're in the area, come say hi and watch some good quality Tetris. And thank you again so much to the Experion. Fantastic venue and just amazing facilities, amazing staff as well. And good food as well, so can't complain. 110 here for Jan, 169 for Tim. Down at the bottom, 269 for gold, 311 for Jesper. So some leads building here for the players on the right-hand side. Jan has a column 8 Tetris had it open, but ooh, early attempt at the tuck there of that T-piece. That will be a bit tricky, but should be fine getting this down. Good job so far. Just needs an L piece or something over. Nice double burn with that S piece. That's the good thing about having a double well like that. You can put pretty much any piece down there and it will be able to burn somewhat. So that's why you'll often see these players with sort of a left to right slope and especially a double well there, so they can put an L piece there, they can put a T piece, and they'll be able to sort of burn and use that so they're not as dependent on other pieces there. We're about 100 lines in down on the bottom between Gold and Jesper. It's still relatively close. Jesper getting a Tetris to go up to 417, Gold 357. Tetris for both players. And Tetris for Tim up top and for Jan. Yes, we're getting a Tetris as well. Gold responding right back. Still a gap at 57,000 points between those two players. That's about 2.5 Tetrises, as you can see on the screen there. But up top, strong lead here for Tim of 139,000 points. That is about 6 Tetrises. As they're about 90 lines in. So that means that Jan is going to need to try to make up those points, as that can be a pretty big lead to be behind on going into level 19. May mean that Jan either has to bank on Tim having some difficulties or has to play a bit more aggressively. But so far, both players with clean stacks, and level 19 now coming for Gold and Jesper. 502 for Gold, 579 for Jesper. Some solid scores there. Tetris for Jesper, Tetris for Gold. Nice hockey bar there for Gold. Pulls back the S piece and gets the bar over for a Tetris. Tetris for Jesper as well. I don't think either of these players will give an inch when it comes to their pace. Tetris for Jesper. Now trying to break away as Gold having to try and reorientate this board. He's going to go for a column 3 Tetris here. Takes the triple and just brings it back to the right well. Tetris for Jesper. 684 to 566. We're also coming up on level 19, transition on the top between Jan and Tim. Tim has brought down, or Tim has the lead by 5 Tetrises. Jan has brought it down by a Tetris. Jesper taking the double and another Tetris there to go up to 718. Jan 364 now into level 19. 502 here for Tim. Oh, but some more burns now. Is Tetris ready? Jesper building back up as well. And a skim and a Tetris there for Jesper. 754 into level 23. Gold on 639, still 115,000 points down. But as the Tetrises get worth more, or they're worth more as the farther as you go through the levels here, the amount of Tetrises that you might be behind with 100,000 score get less and less, to the point where it's about 3 Tetrises towards the end of level, or on level 28, for example. So it's not necessarily over if you're that far behind as you get into the later levels here, but Gold with a couple holes in the stack will still get a Tetris. 439 for Jan, 591 for Tim up top here as well. Tetris for Tim, now up to 619. And a lot of action going on over on CT1 as well, Classic Tetris, the main channel. If you want to tune into that and see what's going on there, you can do so at the same time as on Classic Tetris 2. You can simulcast and watch both at the same time and get an update on all the action there. No spoilers on here, of course, or at least we try not to. But some great action going on there. And Gold is going to top out at 751. So Jesper with 865 is going to take game number 2 here. And I think just wants to get this dirty center well Tetris before then. Does get it. And Jesper a 902. I think just going to try and mullen this out, get a max out here. So we'll focus on top. Jan 542, Tim 696, still maintaining a very strong lead over Jan. Level 24 Tetris is worth 30,000 points. Jan losing control of that left side, doesn't get the bar, and is going to top out at 544. So Tim is going to take game 2, and we are tied 1 apiece up top. And we'll be at match point on the bottom between Gold and Jesper. There's the max out for Jesper here. Will be now just taking this to 29, 1.049 million. Great game there. And a great mullen, too, to get that max. And 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Here we go. 2 T pieces to start off on the top. A square and an S piece on the bottom. And some pretty similar starts here when it comes to Jesper and Gold. I think, actually, they're identical starts here and identical Tetrises. And now some deviation there with that different rotation of the T piece from Jesper. Love to see synchronized Tetrises like that. So the player's getting my Tim with the hang there of that square piece, but with some good pieces should be able to resolve it pretty nicely. Puts that J piece over to the right-hand side. Misses the J tuck, though. I think it was going flat initially and then just rotated trying to tuck it in. That has caused a bit of a misdrop. Tim up a little bit high here, but he is getting some good pieces. Nice split double there. Gets that bar over. Now could use a J piece or another long bar potentially, but this is a very high center of the board for Tim. Does get that J piece over. And this is some nice play here from Tim, but a couple more misdrops, and that's going to be a top out for Tim on 37K. Jan on 82 will take game 3. So we're at match point up on the top here. That's just unfortunate there for Tim. He was doing very good to get out, but just got the wrong pieces at the wrong time. No such issues on the bottom here. Gold on 105. Now Jesper with the Tetris going up to 110. So quite close between those 2 players. This will shortly get ready for game 4 between Jan and Tim here. Tetris here for Gold, 151. Jesper also waiting on a long bar for a Tetris. He does get it. Tetris for Jesper. And Tetris for Gold. And 3, 2, 1, Tetris. We're underway for game number 4 between Jan and Tim here. Nice off-well Tetris there for Gold. Set up immediately for another one. Gets another Tetris. And you'll often see players stacking over to the right rather than to the left, as Gold is doing right now. And the reason for that is because the rotation on that and the way the pieces come down often, well, actually not often, always favors the right-hand side. So it is easier to get pieces over to the right, traditionally, than it would be to get them over to the left. So going for Tetris on the left is a bit more risky because you have to wait a little bit longer and have the pieces travel a little bit longer, which with DAS, considering the speed is fairly fixed in that regard, if you get higher, it is much more favorable to have pieces that you can get over to the right than to the left because you might not be able to get them over with a higher stack. It is the inverse for Game Boy Tetris, where players will often stack on the left rather than with the right well. Down at the bottom, 342 here for gold, 306 for Jesper. And Jesper will get a Tetris here. Double long bar dependency will plug one of them with an L piece. Now just waiting for something to run with. Gets a long bar. Does have that column A long bar dependency back open. Won't be able to get a Tetris with it, but a triple would be nice. Oh, but Tim with a couple of misdrops here in a bit of trouble here. Had to put those Z pieces over. Can Tim get some good pieces to burn with? Tim in danger. Can't get anything over. He's going to top out at 90,000 points. So Jan will take game number 4 and our seed number 35 once again with a massive seed upset there, advancing to the top 12. And that is the 3rd time in a row that John has taken out someone in the top 20 seeds. What a great run from the player from Belgium. Meanwhile, still going on with gold and Jesper. 468 for gold, 416 for Jesper. So fairly close match between these two, but this is an important match because Jesper's on match point. Gold needs to win to stay alive in the bracket because, again, this is double elimination. This is the lower bracket, so if you lose here, you are out of the tournament. There's no third chances. There's no third time lucky. Although that would be pretty interesting to see. I mean, closest thing to that would be like a Swiss kind of bracket, but even then. 487 here for Jesper as he goes into level 19. 521 here for gold. Gold going for the delayed burn with the S piece. Does get the piece there. Now just waiting patiently for the long bar. Does currently have the lead and is 7 lines back on Jesper as well. So doing a good job here. That means very strong pace here for gold. Gets another Tetris. Players trading Tetrises back and forth here. $654 here for gold, $580 for Jesper. And gold right now absolutely playing like someone who has their tournament life on the line, doing very well here. Not being too aggressive, but just making sure to always maintain a state of Tetris readiness, which everyone wants to be in, of course, but simul Tetris for both players here. And as you can see on the top here, you can look at the current runway. You can see their scores there, and that means that is the highest, the maximum score that they can get before level 29. Gold has the opportunity of a 1.17. Jesper can get a max out. But at the end of the day, the only score that will matter, not the runway score, it is that score you see on the top center. Your actual game score. That's all that counts when it comes to who ends up taking games here. 739 for gold, 718 for Jesper, who's been able to take advantage of the fact that gold has a small dig. And at this speed and at this level where Tetris is worth 31,200 points, even a small dig like that can be the difference if you're even 70, 80,000 points in the lead of just losing that advantage. Jesper now into level 26, 758. Gold is Tetris ready, now just waiting for that long bar to come down. Nice double there. Oh, misdrop there of that Z piece, but still kept that well open. Gets a Tetris, 8-15 for gold. And that has allowed Jesper to take the lead here. Gets another Tetris. Do keep in mind, though, 5 lines ahead, so in reality, it is still virtually neck and neck between these two players. As we can see now, just 6,000 points. Tetris for Jesper. Now up to 898. Gold needs, could very much use an S piece. Does get it, but now has a very tricky board. Going for the dirty center well Tetris here, but has to just quickly burn. 862 for gold, 902 for Jesper. Gold trying desperately to get back down to that center well, just try to get something out of this, but misdropping, and that's going to be it for gold. Tops out 866. Jesper 947 will take game 3, and that's going to be the set 3-0. Jesper will advance, but what a fight from username Gold. That was an incredible run and an incredible match overall. So nail-biting that one, but a great set of 2 matches from those 4 players. Incredible stuff. But it will be Jesper who advances to the top 12. And also putting together great runs. But it looks like the players are now getting going here for game number 1 here. I know we didn't get to do it, but 3-2-1 Tetris. Next to a few seconds. But we are underway here for this game number 1. And again, this is the lower bracket. This is a double elimination bracket, so whoever loses in these 2 matches on top and bottom will be out of the tournament. But just a little bit about their journeys so far. We'll start with the top row and the top left player in Marco with a PB of 1.086 million points. Has participated in every CTWC DAS so far to date. And Marco maxed out last year during the qualifiers. It wasn't streamed or recorded. It was on the side in our main lobby. Still looking for another max out since, but so far doing well here to get to the top 16. Marco has been down in the lower bracket for the past 3 rounds now. Was put down there after losing 3-0 to 666 Tim. But since then has defeated Pyrek Schnecke as well, and now will be trying to defeat Sam Vaughn here. Has a hole in column 4, which should, or column 2, row 4, but should be able to get that resolved. You know, his opponent over on the right-hand side, one of the most recognizable top players in the entire, not just DAS, in the classic Tetris scene in general, Sam Vaughn. The NTSC DAS PB of 1.181 million points. Is traditionally a roller by trade, but is playing DAS, of course, as everyone else is, for this tournament. It is always nice to see the top players in other sort of playstyles in classic Tetris always go back to the classic DAS playstyle here. Sam has been in the lower bracket here since round 4 as well. Was put down after losing 3-1 to Adam MTS. Who, of course, was our champion for 2022. But since being put down into lower bracket, Sam has also gotten 2 wins, a 3-2 win decider against Duji, as well as winning against Gunter in the last round. And now is here in the top 16, looking to book that spot in the top 12 to face off against Pixelandi. And on the bottom here, 2 more top players. Maisie, another player who traditionally isn't a main DAS player. Typically is a hyper tapper and a roller, but very good. And that has an NTSC DAS PB of 1,092,600 points. Maisie has said that this tournament is a great excuse for him to focus on the DAS playstyle. And not only is Maisie a top player, also a great commentator for Classic Tetris Wars. Has been doing that for the past good while, and I always try to play in Maisie's events whenever I can because they're often European friendly. But in terms of how Maisie's done so far in the tournament, Maisie has been down in, like the other players, since round 4 of loser's bracket. Was put down there in upper round 5 by Gold, who defeated him 3-1. Maisie has gotten through Eliwa and Alex to get to this point. And last but not least, Damon9420, who not only is a debut player who's playing in his first CTWC DAS event, this is his first Tetris competition, period. So he's kind of doing a sort of almost Matt Martin-esque back in 2019 run here. He's been doing sensationally so far. Qualified seed number 16. Has a PB of 1,116,440. But Damon's not a brand new player. Has been playing for 7 years up to this point. Got into the scene in 2016 through the virality of the CTWC finals of that year. Of course, through the Boom Tetris for Jeff meme that came through. Has been a max outer since 2022. And has only ever played with DAS and decided now is finally the time to unleash his skills that he's built up over those 7 years onto the classic Tetris scene, and has been doing very well. Has been down since round number 4 in the lower bracket here. Defeated Iceblade in round 4. And Meme in the last round. And what was a shock to many people, but Damon's been playing fantastically the entire tournament. And oh, Marco is going to top out here, 454. So Sam is going to take game number 1 here on the top. Down to the bottom, we're also on level 19. 510 for Maisie, 570 for Damon. Damon leading by 60,000 points. And Maisie's going to top out at 511. So Damon is going to take game number 1 down to the bottom as well. But those are your 4 players. 16. We already reached our goal for the top 8, but top 16 will be able to be paid if we get to 4,000. Thank you so much, Nuvanda, for the contribution there. Thank you so much. As we're underway now for game number 2 on the top and bottom here. And a simul Tetris there from Maisie and Damon. And there's a lot of action going on Classic Tetris, the main Classic Tetris 1 channel as well. Of course, I strongly encourage you to not only watch on here, but also watch on there at the same time. You could have 2 windows open, or you can, I believe you can also simulcast both streams as well, but upper bracket matches going on there as well. Some very exciting ones there too. I mean, all these matches are exciting, but there we have Leo and Blue Scooty, as well as Tugi and Fractal going on there as well. I'm not going to spoil anything about what's going on in the matches, of course, but if you want to tune in and check those out, check out Classic Tetris 1 as well as staying on Classic Tetris 2 here for the lower bracket action. Marco and Sam's board's getting a little bit up high here, but they're both dealing with it very well, making sure to keep burn opportunities open, as it's crucial, especially with DAS, to keep as many burn opportunities as you can, whether it's setting up a double well or just making sure that your board and your parity and your accommodation is also top-notch here. $149 here for Marco, 152 for Sam. And down on the bottom, Maisie, 150. Damon, 139. So quite close matches. Quite close games here so far. And I'm seeing in the chat, we got a lot of fans of Marco here. We got some Maisie fans. Someone also cheering on Sam. So everyone also getting some love there. Good. I love seeing the chat sharing their love for the players here. But As a commentator, it's not my job to have favorites or anything like that. I want all players to have great games. I mean, I say on my own streams, when I stream on Twitch for Tetris matches, I always say I want a dream game for me, a dream match for me is everything going to the best of the players' abilities and everyone being able to play as much Tetris as possible. And so far, we've seen a lot of that. Players have been doing excellently. I think this is, by quite a distance, in my opinion, not to discount any of the previous tournaments, but this has been the strongest lineup we've had, period, for a classic for a CTWC DAS since it's the inception of it. Even with the 64-player bracket now, all the players from top to bottom have been doing very well, and everyone's been just giving their all here, as this is the biggest NES Tetris DAS tournament anywhere. And again, thank you so much to Experion for hosting us for the past couple years. It's a fantastic venue here, not just in terms of CTWC DAS, but just in general. Being able to look at so many cool games, play so many cool games here at no cost, as well as being able to also look at some really cool tech as well in terms of the accessories and VR headsets and things like that. It's such an amazing place. They have a location as well in Berlin, so if you're in the Berlin or Cologne area, make sure to check them out. They're a great place, and they also host other really cool esport events too, for events like for games like League of Legends or Rocket League too. So Experion is an amazing place, and I'd love to see more sort of places like it around the world, because it's so unique, and it's a fantastic venue as well for CTWC DAS. The staff have been amazing. The production that we can do here is amazing. So thank you so much to Experion once again for being the great hosts of CTWC DAS in terms of the venue. Marco's on 308, Sam 419. Sam has a vertical Z piece there. We'll be trying to look for a good piece to tuck with. Could have tucked a J, but it's just going to opt to take a skim there instead. Board is still looking, it looks worse than it is. It only needs a few burns here for Sam to be able to get back to a clean board. And just like that, Sam is going to be clean with that adjustment of the T piece. And now Tetris ready. 356 here for Marco, 428 for Sam. Down to the bottom, 408 for Maisie, 479 for Damon. And again, I just have to talk about the incredible run so far that Damon's been able to put down as a brand new player to competitive Tetris. Again, has been playing the game for years, but up until now has never played competitively in anything, not even the online scenes. This is his first time experiencing the world of competitive Tetris. And the world of competitive Tetris, so much different compared to just playing Tetris casually. And I know that very well. But so far, Damon's just been putting together sensational win after win. Defeated Meme in the last round. As now our players are going into level 19 here. 439 Marco, 550 for Sam, 506 for Maisie, 556 for Damon here. Damon with a long bar dependency, gonna just take that double. Oh, but an early shift there of that L piece. Marco tops out at the top of 442. Sam, 555, will take game number 2. So Sam now at match point. Damon's in a bit of trouble. And doesn't get that rotation of the L piece done in time. So Damon topping it at 562. Maisie in a chase down needs 563. Maisie has got it, and Maisie will take game 2. So down on the bottom, we are tied 1 apiece between Maisie and Damon. Marco needs to win to stay alive in the match. And 3, 2, 1, Tetris, here we go. Square and a Z to start off on the top here. And pretty identical starts here for Maisie and Damon. They both get a simul Tetris, and they're stacking the exact same. And they still are. And now, finally, a slight deviation here for the players. Simul Tetris as well for Marco and Sam. And another Tetris there for Sam. We saw it in the last set of matches as well. I just love synchronized Tetris like that, where the pieces are the same, of course, with the same piece sets, as well as just the placements are the same. Damon already in a little bit of trouble, though. And, oh, cuts off access to the well. Damon is really going to try to get pieces over there, but too many Z pieces, and Damon is going to early top at 25,000 points. So Maisie is going to take game number 3 here on 30,000 points. That's unlucky there for Damon. And now Maisie at match points. Sam had a little bit of difficulty there on the center right of his board, but does get it burnt back down. Very nice there from Sam. And yeah, it was just an unfortunate kind of drought there. 39 pieces for Damon, just a nightmare to deal with on an, early on in your game. So Maisie now just needing one more game to take the win here. Again, the winner of this match has a pretty big one ahead of them. When I say a big one, I do really mean a big one. 3-2-1 Tetris, they're underway. The winner of this match between Maisie and Damon faces off against Adam MTS, our 2022 champion. Oh, and Sam's in trouble, and Sam's going to top out here at 131. Marco's on 134, so Marco will stay alive, taking game at number 3. So 2 early top outs from the top and bottom games here. So Marco taking a game here. So still game on there. Maisie and Damon getting underway, and they're well underway for their 4th game. Simul Tetris there for Maisie and Damon. It's been a long day. 3-2-1 Tetris for Marco and Sam. It's been a long day of Classic Tetris so far, and whether you're watching at home or whether you're playing Tetris or what have you, we all suffer, we all fall to sort of eye strain, fatigue, and dryness in the eyes. And thank you to one of our sponsors, Hilo Gel, who makes some eye drops specifically for this kind of thing, for sort of strain when it comes to screens and dryness of the eyes as a result of it. I mean, the screens here, quite bright. We also got a lot of studio lights and everything around. So after multiple hours a day of classic Tetris, it can be quite a challenge to sort of keep these eyes nice and dry so that you can continue, if you're a player especially, at the highest sort of level that you can. Because if your eyes are dry, you're going to be focusing on that rather than scoring Tetrises. So at 1 drop in each eye, you can rehydrate your eyes and make sure that you're good to go for your Tetris match, or if you're commentating, or if you're just watching at home and you got a bright screen. I've been there, but Hilo Gel, great gel, really recommend it, and it's available in your local pharmacy near you. Thank you so much for sponsoring CTWC DAS Hilo. 217 here for Maisie, 261 for Damon. And it sounds like something's going on here on Classic Tetris 1. Again, you can watch that at the same time as Classic Tetris 2. Have a multicast going on so you can watch all the matches as they come in. No spoilers here, of course. But some great action going on both of our channels that we're doing it currently on Classic Tetris 1 and here on Classic Tetris 2. And a bit of a rough start here for Marco. 42 lines in, only on 77,000 points. Sam is on 190. Just been some rough digs here for Marco, but is seeing the other side of it, and will get a Tetris. Some great determination there for Marco, not giving up. Again, Marco in a must-win situation. Needs to win to stay alive in this match and in the bracket in general. Because, again, this is lower bracket. If you lose, that is game over when it comes to your CTWC DAS tournament for this year. Damon in a similar situation. 2-1 down against Maisie. Needs to win to stay alive. But is currently leading 362, but Maisie neck and neck, 362 as well. It's just doubles and singles and triples that's switching the lead between the two players right now. So close between those two. And they're also at the exact same line count as well. So that is a close one. Damon, 26-piece drought there, but still with a decent board. Marco slowly getting the lead down. 177 to 274. Gets a Tetris to go to 199. Marco with the delayed bird setup gets the Z piece, gets a Tetris. Sam also set up with that S piece placement. Bar over and will get a Tetris. Maisie and Damon at about line 105 or so. So they have 25 lines to go before they reach level 19 transition. At level 19 transition, the speed will increase by a further 50%, and as well as that, the amount of points per Tetris will also increase by a further 1,200 points every 10 lines after that as they go into a new level. So while Tetris is worth 22,800 points right now, it can go up to upwards of about 35,000 by the time they get to level 28. And that can be all the difference. Damon here with some clutter on the right side, but is getting some nice skim with that. I love that placement of the T. Sort of skimming there, sort of almost slicing down the middle of that little gap that he had there. Very nicely done. Damon is now Tetris ready. Everyone here having clean boards. Nice delayed burn there. Has instead of tucking the T, just skims it down. Very nicely done. Tetris for Damon goes into level 19, 504. Maisie still has 4 lines to go. Damon set up for a Tetris again. Oh, but a couple misdrops here for Maisie, and this close to transition, this is not looking the best. 558 transition here from Maisie. Can he get this dug out? Needs to get something over to the left-hand side. Doesn't get this, the long bar or anything over to the right-hand side, so Maisie tops out 559. Damon needs 560, currently on 558. Just a couple of burns will do it for Damon. And there's the double, and Damon is going to take game number 4, so we'll be going to a decider on the bottom between these two players who've been really putting together great runs. It's a shame that one of these players has to go out, but that's how these knockout tournaments go. But frankly, I've been closely following these two players when it comes to their runs so far, and I think a game against each other, it deserves to go to a decider. You know, level 19 transition now coming in for Sam, 540. 462 here from Marco. Marco now hoping to do the same and to keep his tournament hopes alive. Tetris from Marco. Again, Marco, one of few players who has competed in and attended every single CTWC DAS up to this point. We've been operating since 2022. Marco needs something in column 2, gets that bar over, but now just needs to try and get the middle back open. Perfect L piece there to work out there. Sam, 599, Marco, 496. And Marco getting the well back open. That's a nice dig there from Marco. Closes the well just as the bar arrives, but Marco is doing very well. And there's the Tetris. Great dig there from Marco. Staying alive. And 3-2-1 Tetris for Maisie and Damon in their final game. Game 5 to decide which one of them will be facing off against Adam MTS in the next round of the lower bracket. Nice Tetris there for Sam, level 23, 676 to Marco's 592. Sam has been just continuing to maintain about 80, 90,000 point lead over Marco throughout the entire course of this. We'll be hoping not to have that slow down, as of course the Tetris is worth more and more as we get on in the levels. Now worth over 28,000 points, now 30,000 as they go into level 24. Early shift there of that Z piece for Marco, but is able to maintain DAS, still keeping things going strong. Misdrop there with that Z piece for Sam, but we'll still be able to get the Tetris. Level 25 now. Marco, 668. Sam, 752. Sam getting the well back open here. Cleaning up very nicely. And sets up the dependency, but immediately fills it, and now into level 26. Is ahead in lines by 7. Ooh, an awkward sort of overhang there of that Z piece for Marco. Doesn't really have a whole lot of time in order to focus on digging this out, especially since Sam has a healthy board, and Marco's getting up pretty high. Doesn't get that bar all the way over for the flat burn. He's going to top out at 7:03. So Sam with 8:01 will take game number 4 and wins the set 3-1. So Sam will be advancing to face off against Pixel Andy. Will be, of course, playing this out. Seeing if he can maybe, just maybe, get a max out of this. He'll probably need a kill Triss at this point, but he'll try for it anyway. Maisie 213, Damon 178 on the bottom here. Regardless, a great run from Marco as well. Does get the Tetris. Trying to get another one. Is that bar going to come? No, just a little bit too late there for Sam. 9:47 though. And Sam's tournament continues on. Marco's will end at the top 16. And now we go down to our game 5. Maisie and Damon. Maisie has a column 3 Tetris open there. And we'll get it. Tetris for Maisie. Two incredible DAS players here. Not only two incredible DAS players, but two just great people to talk to in general. I've been talking to both of them throughout the course of the week here. And both of them just super happy to be here. Both have been incredibly competitive, almost in a similar kind of fashion. Maisie, of course, is a community and competitive Tetris veteran. Has been competing for a number of years, but Damon definitely playing like he's been playing competitive Tetris for all his life, pretty much. But again, this is his first competitive, his debut in competitive Tetris, and now has taken Maisie to a decider here. 345 for Maisie, 296 for Damon. Damon also ahead by 6 lines here. Tetris Maisie. Nice adjustment with that S piece to tuck in the square that was coming down as well. We've crossed $2,600 when it comes to the Matcherino. Again, we're looking to pay out, of course, as many of our amazing players as possible in this tournament. We're looking at a goal of $4,000 to be able to pay out the top 16. So this is the top 16 right now. So if you want these players to, even whoever loses this, to go home with some nice prize pool money, try and get that up. We have, again, currently $2,600. Thank you so much to everyone who has contributed. And especially, thank you so much to Scott Gray, who earlier donated $2,000 to the prize pool. Also want to shout out a couple more of our top contributors. Summer B76, who's donated $150. Thank you so much, Summer, as well as I think also did it again with $129 here. Looks like some action going on Classic Tetris 1. You can watch that at the same time as CT2. Some upper bracket matches going on between Leo and Scooty, as well as Tugi and Fractal. Not going to say anything more than that. You'll just have to take my word that some great matches going on there. 521 here for Maisie, 487 for Damon as they're going into level 19 now. And keep an eye on that runway score that you see there on the top above the players there. That is the highest possible score they can get before level 29. Of course, they can maybe score a little bit more after that if they can set up kill trisses or maybe be able to burn 1 or 2 lines, but that is the highest score they can get into 29. Oh no, and Damon with a bit of a mistake there and going to top out at 520. So Maisie, 579. He can hardly believe it, but he is going to the top 12.